What's up, guys? Welcome back to another beautiful interview. And yes, I thank you, Bentley, for hopping on, because it was beautiful doing somebody in the computer realm. But now I got an artist, a Japanese artist at that, someone that I can honestly say I can't wait to have their stuff in my studio space, and even working in the future, because it's been beautiful just talking off air. Let me interview 88, Lisa Lane. Thank you for coming on. How you been? You been doing good?
I'm doing good, yeah.
Yeah, just vibing. Like, how's it been outside of doing painting and being an artist and stuff? Like, how's life been, though?
I've been in the process of moving. I'm relocating to Chicago, back to my family and my roots. So I'm really nervous. That's like a big thing that's in my mind, and really excited because it's been 10 years since I've been back.
Wow.
So it's like...
It's probably a whole different ball game now.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you remember growing up there the most? Like, well, normally I don't start off like this, but we're just going to do a little talk.
In Chicago, I mean, it's just cold.
That sounds
Cold.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, cold. Cold.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, we all know about Chicago, but it's still like, I don't know. I'm ready to go there because we are going to come back out there for February, so it's going to be beautiful, and I hope that you got like a whole scene going on so that we can walk in and vlog it all up and things. Yeah. I'm a big vlogger. I love vlogging like graffiti and stuff. You know, Asheville is known. You ever been to Asheville?
North Carolina?
Yeah. They have like the graffiti thing and all that.
Yeah, it's like the capital of artists.
Yeah. So it's like I like going to those type, and I feel like going to Chicago, hopefully, you know, you bring that vibe with you. So
yeah, there's a lot of underground things that are happening that it's not like portrayed in media, and a lot of history too.
Right.
So I'm excited to learn that. I won't be like a high school student anymore. I won't be so rebellious. I'll have... Like, I have an established identity now, where I can just go out and seek what I really want to see.
Yeah, and be yourself. That's what I feel like some people learn when they travel back to where they're from. You know, it's like, this is me, this is my roots. So it's beautiful. But let's dig into it, because we already kind of know where you're from. That kind of just eliminated that, because you're obviously from Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. But what part of Chicago?
Like the south suburbs, so like Orland Park area, Tinley Park area. I went to 3 different high schools there. Okay,
so where were you like, and I know we just said it, but where were you like born? Because we were talking about it off air, and you were basically born in Japan, right?
No, so I've been everywhere. I'm kind of, I say I'm from here, but I'm really from there. I was born in San Diego.
Okay.
I was raised in Okinawa from the age of like 1 to 13. So that's where like my roots are.
Do you remember anything at that age? Like like moving from San Diego to Japan? Because that's a big...
Oh no, San Diego to Japan.
Yeah, you don't remember anything from that? I'm only asking because that's different. Like, you don't hear anybody just kind of get up from the United States and go to Japan. So like, what do you kind of remember? Maybe around like 7 or 8 or 9, because you might have a grasp. Do you remember maybe being a kid and being like, did you feel like you were born in Japan at the time, or did you, you know?
Growing up, I really identified as a Japanese kid.
Yeah,
I was like surrounded by it, and I know I'm really good at English, but I had to develop this self. You know, I grew into this self, and I've been in America for 12 years too. So, you know, being in Japan, I remember just being a Japanese kid.
Right.
Being by the ocean and everything too.
Is this something you miss? Like, cause I mean, you haven't been back in a while, right?
I miss being a kid there.
Yeah.
And I think that's like probably the same for a lot of people. Like, you miss your home, but it's not going to be the same even if you go back, right? Like, no one's going to be the same.
Right. Yeah, no, I can only imagine. I wish I was from Japan. That's why I keep a Tati right there. Like, I really...
You'll get there.
Yeah, 2025 will be there. It's just a matter of, like, if I decide to want to do vacation or business out there. Because I think my first time out there, I want to go on vacation. Like, I want to, like, enjoy it and go study and go look at different things rather than being, like, boom, interview, you know, I'm not even enjoying, it feels like I'm on a field trip, but you know, and I don't want that, so, but no, let's dig into it, because you've obviously lived all around the world, honestly. Where'd you go to elementary school at? Did you go to elementary school in Chicago?
Yeah, so elementary school, well, kindergarten I went to Japanese school, elementary I started in international school, and this international school had Christian missionaries from America that would trade housing and food to teach kids like me, you know, like it was their missions work. So I was taught by these people, and then I was also taught by the local civilians of Okinawa too.
So it's like, did you notice a difference? Like, could you tell like maybe one was doing better than the other, or was it like they both felt the same? Experience-wise, yeah.
I couldn't really tell the difference because like who I am is like, it's very ordinary where I'm from.
You're not a school person?
Oh, school?
Yeah. Well, just like, did it feel like the same? Like, were you learning the same amount of stuff that you were learning back at home?
Yeah. Japanese and English, like we spoke Japanglish. Like everybody in school was an international student. So everyone looked like me, spoke like me. You know, like we kind of had similar identities.
Wow. Did you ever go into a public school? I know we still haven't led into like middle school and high school yet, but was that like the whole grade from kindergarten to 12th grade? The international school? Wow. So you finished out there?
My high school years were in America.
Wow, that's crazy. See, I mean, I didn't know, but it's like that. I just started learning because my previous interview went to the same type of school too.
Yeah.
But where I went to school, it was like you go to high school at 8th grade, 9th grade, like a whole different thing. So it's like, I don't know. I've never heard that really, like where you go to one school and it's like pre-K to 12th.
You'll be in first grade seeing like adults.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
graduating.
That's so weird. Like you're seeing the same people your whole life. Like that's.
Yeah.
I went to 4 different high schools, 2 different middle schools, and one elementary school, compared to your one school.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it really shaped who I was. I remember looking up to like 11th graders, 12th graders, and I remember the specific people I want to be like, and I feel like I followed their path, and I am like them. So there's one specific person stands out in my mind, Xena. She was like older, really cool, like I think she was half.
Like an artist? She was an artist too, or?
No, it was just something about her character. Like she carried herself in some way, and she's like passed now, but like her just energy, I always remember being like, she's so cool. Like in Japanese we say kakkoi.
Right.
Like so kakkoi, like I want to be just like her. You know, she was like a rebellious person, and that's not really seen as a good thing in Japan, being rebellious.
But those are the ones that like are the most courageous, did I say that, courageous?
Yeah.
Like the most that give you the energy of like, I can do this. And that's the energy I want to give, you know? Like you should never doubt yourself, even if you feel like nobody's following you or the same energy that you present, you know? But no, so I do kind of want to ask about high school. Like, did you feel like maybe being in a public, like being in American school was like something that you like, maybe, I wouldn't say regret, but just like, I should have just stayed where I was, or what?
Man.
Because it's a different ballgame.
It was seriously the biggest culture shock of my life.
Like, what'd you notice? Give us one thing. And it don't have to be deep, but like, would you notice that like trauma?
It was big.
Yeah.
So big. I mean, you go to the school that I come from, it's like 12 people in one class.
Wow.
And here, I was like, you go to first period, second period, you're walking so much in a fast time, you know, and like
friends, you got a bunch of people. Did you meet a lot of different people? Like,
a lot of different
because you're probably
people.
meeting, you know,
because in Chicago it's a mixture of like Europeans, Arabic people, black people, white people. They're just in one city, right? So like those are the people I went to school with and learned from, like how to become an American. I learned like you call this the prayer you say. What do you call it?
What?
You know, like in second period.
Oh, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, I had to learn that. And, you know, I was told to go to the principal's office because they thought I was disrespecting and not doing it on purpose.
But you didn't do that in your international school?
No, like, we didn't do stuff like that.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a big difference because I've been doing that since pre-K. Like, kindergarten. That's crazy.
Yeah,
so how much trouble did you get in? Did you get, like, was it just
I got in a lot
warning?
of trouble for stuff like that. Like, I didn't know what 9/11 was.
Wow.
It was, like, very different for me. So I had to learn a lot about just, like, the American history, the structure, and just how to respect it, you know?
Yeah. So what was, like, mainly the hardest part of transitioning from being, like, let's say, this quiet girl, you know, 12 people, to being around so many people? Like, what was, like, you know, did you have something happen to you to make you pop out the bubble, or like what happened? We don't have to talk about it. That's why I say, like, I dig into it because this is a self question.
I mean, I was surrounded by big characters.
But was it like maybe like a, like, and hear me out, like just maybe like a backstabbing moment from a friend, or like was it, what moment was it where you kind of popped out of your shell? Because I feel like you've learned now, like, you know.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know if I consider myself popping out of the shell. Like, I feel like I'm very slowly coming out. I come back in, you know, like, I still consider myself very independent and, like, wanting to stay within my own area. My goal is to broaden and do things that make me uncomfortable all the time.
And that's how you grow. Like, seriously, that is how you grow, and you're probably going to be the most successful person on the planet, because I have one of the most successful Japanese artists on the planet, and it's just crazy to know that, like, I don't know, there's different people out here that are set on a mission to really do what nobody's really seen, and I feel like what you're doing right now is not normal. And I say that with the exclamation point, because, like, I watched your, you know, some of your stuff and you drawing and even live videos. It's like you don't see that. So how do you go about that? Was that like after high school you kind of felt that, or was that something you've always done since you were a kid?
I've always been artistic. Yeah, and I've always liked standing out in being an artist too. So doing something no one's done, I'm always willing to do it when it comes to art, because I feel like my gift is I'm the only person that can do what I do. Like, people can paint, but they're also the only person that can paint the way that they do. Just like any other creative careers, like, you have to own the thing that you do, and then, like, keeping on doing it is so important. Even if you get, like, thumbs down, you know, that's the thing that separates you.
Yeah, no, you're totally, that was a really good answer. If you guys did not hear what she just said, please rewind it. You know, the little thing, go back and rewatch it. No, because that's really deep stuff, and I feel like a lot of artists need to take notes on that, because they feel like they're painting, or because I'm an artist too. Like, I really love drawing. I've been drawing since I was probably about, ask my mom, 2nd grade. I started off with block letters, you know, drawing graffiti type deal, and then it led to me being 6th, 7th grade drawing Naruto. I just stopped. I could still pick up a pen and go ham, and you'd probably be impressed, but it's more of like, I feel like it's in the mind. What do you think, where do you start off when you go to make your portraits or anything?
So for me, and I think of it in a way of, like, I'm not even doing it. I have to tap into, like, this part of me that, like, you know, some people say God moves my hand, right? Like, it's almost that kind of powerful feeling that I have to get myself into before I even think about painting, you know? So it's a lot of, like, spirituality and having, like, knowing you're the only person that can do it, really.
Yeah. Do you, like, draw, like, your emotion in it too, or is this something you feel like painting you can't have emotion when you do it? Because I feel like you have to have emotion in everything you do, right? But there's some things better off to leave your emotions out of. Maybe like, you know?
Oh yeah.
So, like, do you think painting requires emotion, or should you be like dual, if that makes sense?
I think what I do, it requires emotion, because I get very emotional. That's why I like to do it by myself, because it's like, it's a moment that I have with something that I'm creating that no one else is experiencing. You might be a viewer, but you're not experiencing, like, me layering on this.
The time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just the amount of color. Like, all those things are just something between me and the painting.
What do you consider art?
Art is something anyone is, like, looking at and be proud of, I think. You know, a lot of people, they tell me, like, oh, I can only draw a stick figure. That is art too.
That is art.
You know, and there are some artists that are stick figure artists, and that's what they do, and they don't put themselves because they're down because they're a stick figure artist. They say, I am the stick figure artist, right? So just being proud of something and saying it is art, that's art.
Have you ever had, like, maybe a piece where you've, like, done and you're like, this is not art? Like, this is scrap. Like, how often does that happen?
It happens when my heart's not in it, when I agree to do something that I'm I totally don't want to do.
Do you have like a crazy memory though that you like kind of remember where it's like you put 3 weeks into this portrait and it's like you just have to scrap it, or you've never had that happen? Because I've had that happen with videos. My motivational videos need to start dropping because they're just sitting there. It's hard to edit and stuff.
I think ideas.
Yeah.
You know, growing ideas takes a long time. Like, you have to water it too, you know, so I don't know. There's things that I'm not proud of, but it comes from agreeing to do something I didn't originally want to do anyways. And that's really big when it comes to my art, because it's unfair for somebody to pay for my art when my heart's not in it, right?
No, I agree, and that's the other thing I kind of want to talk about. And if you're not okay or comfortable talking about it, it's okay. I totally understand. But I honestly think it's worth talking about because, one, you deserve to get paid to do painting and stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you go about commissioning? Do you think that, like, it's something you wish you didn't have to do, or do you feel like you deserve it? And then we don't have to, you can say no, you know. I just wanted to ask since we were talking about it because you do deserve it. Like, your stuff is not normal. If it was, not trying to downplay any other painter out here, so don't come bombard me with paintbrushes and stuff like that. But it's like, I'm just trying to grasp on the thing of like, you are doing in the glow in the dark type deal, you know, you do it fast, you know, like the full ability, you don't mess up, like you're perfectionist. Like, how do you go about the charging part? Like, do you feel bad?
The pricing part is hard, but I've navigated it to where I have different points of sales. So online, when people seek me out, usually they're ready to pay a commission price. But when I put it on consignment, you're going window shopping and you might run into my art. And that, people aren't going to drop $600, $800. So I have to do my right market research beforehand. You know, I deserve this amount from this group of people, and for people that, you know, are willing to pay like a lot of money for art, I feel that, you know, I can put this price point on it. Because
art is money. Like, you think about like the Mona Lisa paint portrait, like those are not, like, they would probably, nobody even talks about the price of it because they, you know, it's probably not even affordable because
you can't remake that.
You can't. And I think that's something with your portraits that you're starting to develop. I'm not trying to, like, you know, sound like I'm the dude and know everything you've done, but it's like the ones that I've seen, like, those can't be replaced. Like, you've done some stuff that I've seen, I'm like, wow, I gotta get something with them. You draw me in. So how do you go about that? Like, how'd you start the glow in the dark and everything? Like, was that just like one day you just came up with it?
Comes a lot from my childhood. Like, I scribbled a lot when I was a kid. A lot of my emotions were scribbled, so I try to put that in there. And the glow in the dark to me kind of represents like doing something in the dark, but you can still see it.
Right.
You know, like, there's times where I make really great art and I don't have the camera on me and I'm like, but that's the intimate moment you have with yourself, you know, in the art, that you're like, okay, no one saw that, but it doesn't have to be that someone sees it for you to feel good about it, right? And like doing it in the dark, like there's like a deeper meaning to it.
Definitely is. I feel like that's what kind of like draws in your uniqueness, you know, like that just shows you you're very different, because I don't think many artists like that think like that. I've never seen that, you know, and even if I were to see, nobody would do it like how you do. So I just wanted to know, where can we find your portraits? Like, where do you have your sale, all your stuff up at?
So you can find a lot of my art on my website. Well, I say a lot, but it's very limited because I like to keep my art too. So you can find it on takamiyagiliveart.com, and also my Instagram is lil.pain, PAIN.ting.
I just got what that meant this morning.
Right?
Too. I thought it was little pain, and then I wrote it down in my interview book, and it was little painting. I was like,
right?
Wow,
when people
genius.
when people get it, I'm like, do you get it? You get it? You get it, right?
No, I mean, it's like my Wi-Fi. I can't say it on here, but my Wi-Fi is like that. That's so genius. I like that. But no, I wanted to kind of ask the generic questions, because now I feel like I got kind of the deep questions out the way, you know. But when did you first like pick up a pen or even pick up a brush? Like, when was the first time? Because that's a generic question, but we all we all want to know. I know y'all want to know.
Yeah, honestly, I only pick it up at like the most when I need.
Well, no, when did you? Like, what age?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. I've seen myself carrying, like, crayons at, like, a very young age.
So you knew, like, not new, but you felt like this is what I was going to do.
Yeah, so actually, let me tell you a story
Go for
about,
it.
so in Japan, where I'm from, when you turn 100 days old, you get put on the floor and you have, I think, 5 different things in front of you. One is scissors, one is calculator, food, money, and I think maybe a book. But those things are put in front of you and the baby chooses what they want. And with that, it determines your path in life. So when you pick up a scissors, that means like you're really artistic. The calculator means you're good with
math and stuff. Yeah.
And so forth. So I picked up the scissors, and like that's how they raised me. Like, oh yeah, you picked up the scissors, you're going to be very artistic. So I was nurtured in that way too.
Wow, I gotta move. I gotta move up there, because that sounds awesome, man. Like, I never knew it was even like that. Is there any other traditional things that you kind of carry on still?
Yeah, so
because that's cool.
Where I'm from, we're very, like, tradition is big, and it keeps people coming back to gather together, right? Which we're missing in America. Like, you don't celebrate the 7th birthday as like the biggest birthday, whereas in Japan, like Shichigo-san, like 7, 5, and 3 is a big birthday for you.
Yeah.
So it's like you're being celebrated bigger than a birthday.
Yeah.
It's like you're going into manhood, you're going into adulthood, you know? It's a celebration of like something bigger than, oh, you're turning 12. So growing up with those kinds of things, like people gathering around you, like you're the main person, it feels good, you know, as a child, and you carry that on as in adulthood.
That's really, yeah, I don't even want to say it because this is your interview, but it's like, America, wake up, please. Like, we need to make some changes or something.
We need to celebrate everybody every day.
No, I agree. That's why I'm like, we need, yeah. So let's, I do want to ask a couple more things before we kind of do, you know, hop off. But it was more of like, one, what type of paint and stuff do you use to make it? Like,
oh, okay. I use acrylic paint.
Okay.
It's the one that dries faster. It's like plastic based. But I like it because it dries fast.
Yeah, that's true. And is it like something that you kind of like have to use in every single one of your portraits, or is it, do you use different type of paints? So I'm just, some people would want to know.
I've experienced with other paints. I'm just not big into that. I really like the pigment that acrylic paints give me.
Okay. Well, how long does it typically make? Can't even speak. How long does it normally take for you to actually do one portrait? I'm trying to use big words, you know, and just be flexing with it, but I can't. Because I've seen you do it live. Shout out to Country. You did a beautiful portrait of him. That was very inspiring, because I was getting warmed up, like I wasn't literally doing it, but I was in the corner going like, you know, like
shadow boxing.
Yeah, just getting ready for the public interview with Country. And then I looked to my left and I saw you introduce it to him, and y'all took pictures and stuff, and I was like, wow. And then I saw it on Snapchat.
Yeah, I was shaking, man. I was so nervous.
Like, how do you do that? Like, how long does that take? Like, and personally, because I know you practiced it, right?
So, can I tell you another story?
You can tell me 5 stories.
Okay. You know, Picasso, one time, he was at a restaurant, and this woman hands him, like, this napkin, and she's like, hey, can you draw me something real quick? And he's like, okay. Draws her something. It takes him, like, a couple minutes, and he's like, you owe me a big sum of money. And she's like, why? It only took you 30 seconds to do this. And he's like, it's not about how long it took, it's about, this is my talent. Like, I've done hours of training to get like this. So to me, that's what it is when it comes to live painting. Like, no distraction. I'm like center stage, I'm so zoomed in, whereas if I'm at home painting, I'm listening to music.
Yeah,
I'm like
answering phone calls.
Yeah, I'm scrolling, and then I'm still there, but
it's different.
I really have to prepare myself like an athlete. Like, I'm in it. Like, the music, my ears, you know.
So, what is one advice you would suggest anybody doing in your lane? Because there's a
like
lot.
Live painting.
Yeah. What would you suggest? What's the advice?
It's like knowing what your distractions are and avoiding it. It's really important, because being in the live, a lot of times it involves people drinking, people smoking, right? You cannot be like that at that moment.
Clear
because
mind.
You're the one that's not like that. You're observing. So making sure you know what your distractions are. Now, if it enhances it, okay, maybe. But for me, those are my distractions that I have to avoid to be there.
And you do an amazing job. Like, for real, like, I saw that and I was like, I know Country was probably more shocked than anybody.
I was shaking.
Yeah.
I was really nervous.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just...
Because he said 30 minutes and I was like, okay. That's
in
big
your head, you're probably like, oh my God.
I'm like, which brushes are gonna work, you know?
But that, like you said earlier, I feel like you push yourself in these positions to make you feel uncomfortable, and you grow, and you feel like, oh wow. And I feel like you get more accomplished feeling off that, rather than someone handing you this. You just do it. It's a simple, boring, you know what I mean, the boring process. So
yeah. I want to do something. Everyone's like, oh my God, I've never seen this before, and you just did that. I'm like, see?
Right. No, wait until you guys see what I have in store, because I'm going to send her something and do a little commission and give her, you know, put some bread in her pocket to get this amazing portrait of Rise to Elevate. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be something simple, but we're going to talk about off air. But no, for real, I think it's beautiful. I think you already shouted out your socials too, right?
Yeah.
Is there any, shout it out just one more time, just in case for some people.
TakaMiyagiLiveArt.com for my website, and then Glow Painting for my Instagram.
Just want to make sure for some people that are still watching, thank you guys for that. I've been watching since the beginning. It's been beautiful. No, thank you for coming on, because it's been beautiful. Interview 88. Little painting. I had to say that because she got me with that. I woke up this morning, I saw it, and I was like, wait, oh, that's different. But you know what's up, man. Most importantly, guys, stay true to yourself. The only way to achieve your dreams is through you. No one else is going to do it. And I do want to ask her one question, because I did forget. You almost got me. How do you always be yourself whenever you wake up?
When I wake up?
I forgot. See?
I don't know. The first thing I like to do is look at the light. I have a window, so I look at the light, make sure my eyes like acclimate to the sun. Right. Okay.
That's a good way to do it. I'm glad I asked now though, because like a lot of people would want to know how you be yourself, because like you're a beautiful person in and out, and it's crazy that like, I don't know, like I feel bad for Charleston. We're gonna be missing you. You're gonna be leaving.
Oh yeah.
And I wish we kind of met earlier so we could do some more work and stuff like that, because I'm gonna get you right on some stuff.
Yeah, we'll see each other in Chicago.
We're gonna do another. Yep, we got an interview coming in Chicago in February. Be ready for that. We'll definitely, if you can, find a studio space for us. Yeah. Other than that, we might be in like an Airbnb or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. Like the whole traveling to do podcasting is kind of hard, to be honest.
Yeah, but like Country said, you got a budget, right?
Yeah. I guess.
I was like, dang, he's just said the thing that I don't want to talk about.
But it's the truth. Yeah. And he's the GOAT for it, because bro's been all over the world. He needs to take his butt over to like Switzerland, like all these different exotic places that would probably really eat it up. You know what I mean?
Japan would eat him up.
But no, we got the one and only, the Japanese artist. Interview 88, Lisa Lane. Thank you for coming on. It's been beautiful. Remember, guys, I know I said it earlier, but for real, stay true to yourself, and the only way to achieve your dreams is through you. Peace. You almost got me earlier. Peace.